Hey y'all, it's me, Shawla360, and I posted on my Twitter that I wanted to do a chat video because I feel like I haven't done a chat video in a while, and I'm not going to give you guys any excuses because actually I can explain why I haven't done a chat video in a while based upon a question that I got on my Twitter. So I'll have my Twitter handle down below, but on Twitter somebody was just asking me, how am I doing, what have I been up to, and while it's not the most positive story to tell, it is a story I want to share with you guys because I think a lot of you are dealing with some of the same stuff I'm dealing with. Not exactly the same, but maybe this sense of kind of being directionless or lost. So, the last time I talked to most of you, I was living in Dallas. Specifically, I was actually living north of Dallas in an area that's got like the Colony and Frisco and Louisville and Carrollton. If you're not familiar with the Dallas Metroplex area, all these words I'm saying mean nothing to you. But that was the area I was living in, and I was working in a job that really wasn't paying what I needed, and I don't know, I was just a part of a grind. And I was a part of a grind that prevented me from being able to buy K-pop. It prevented me from being able to do videos. Like, I don't know, I felt like a hamster on a treadmill, and I had absolutely no free time. Like, anytime I even thought I had free time, I had something else to do. And I was quite lucky to be able to swing the time it took for me to go to the Shiny concert and record all that, because prior to that, I was working every single day, and I was working several hours every single day. But things changed shortly after the Shiny concert because I got a text message from my mother saying that my stepfather, the man who raised me since I was 2 years old, found out from the doctors that instead of having pneumonia like he thought, he had stage 4 lung cancer. And it really shook me up for a lot of different reasons. One, it shook me up because, and this is going to sound really awful, as a teenager, young adult, me and my stepfather really didn't get along for many different reasons. I'm not a perfect person, and he's not a perfect person, and there were a lot of times when he had really hurt my spirit and my heart, and I kind of wished death on him. Like, I wish he would just go away. So to have that announcement and know that pretty much the outlook was, this is terminal, you may have a few months left, I kind of felt like it was a self-fulfilling wish, and that made me feel very guilty. But then on the flip side of that, me and my stepfather hadn't been speaking for a long time. And it made me feel remorseful for the fact that I hadn't been speaking with him, because despite all of our differences and the reasons why we had been angry at each other, the fact remains he is the man who raised me, and I could not be the person I am now without him, for good or for bad, because a lot of the things that I've done in my life and a lot of the choices I've made have been in reaction to me not wanting to be the kind of person he was. You know, he's the reason why I don't really drink, because I don't want to be an alcoholic. He's the reason why I have such a strong moral code, because I've seen where your life can go when you don't have that kind of strong moral code. And he's definitely made it to where I've been closer to my mother, because I felt bad for her having to deal with a lot of the things that he put her through. But he also is the person who gives me my sense of humor. He also is a person that I'm very similar to in terms of personality, because we're both very strong-willed. And he's somebody that throughout my childhood and into my adulthood really encouraged my successes, was very proud of me when I graduated from college, when I graduated from high school, supported me through different medical trials and tribulations I've had. And for those reasons alone, and the fact that he raised me, I felt bad that we hadn't been on speaking terms, and now this incident, this medical emergency, was what was going to bring us together. And then just in the scope of that, it had me thinking about how my relationships are with the rest of my family. I have a brother that I'm not as close to because we had some conflict. I have a nephew that I don't know very well because he is my brother's son, and with me and my brother not being close, I haven't been close to my nephew. It just brought a lot of those familiar relationships into the forefront of my mind and how I could change those things. So I made a huge decision. I decided that I was going to pack up my sticks and move, because my father was living in New Mexico and my mother was living in Colorado, and I was just in Dallas on my own. So I decided to move to Colorado where my mother was, because I knew with my dad passing, once he was gone, I really wouldn't have a close family member in New Mexico. And also the job market where he was in New Mexico is not the greatest. So I packed up all my stuff and I moved to Colorado. That's where I am now, so woohoo! And I visited my father for a while, and then it was obvious that his health was just going down and down and down, and He passed away about a month ago. And it was hard for our family. It was hard watching the cancer spread because he was already stage 4 when it was discovered. He thought he had pneumonia because he had a cough and really couldn't catch his breath. They found masses in his lungs. The cancer spread to his bone. He had broken his hips. He had various C. diff infections from the chemo, weakening his immune system, and had been close to death several times in the months between his initial diagnosis and when he finally passed. And for our family, it was a trial. It was a trial to watch him be so sick and to watch somebody who had been such a strong personality, for better or for worse, become somebody so weakened by this disease. And I've always said that, I've never really had anybody close in my family that was affected by cancer. And to have this happen to him, one, it made me feel terrible for people who've had to watch their family members go through this, especially people who've had to watch their children go through this. Two, it made me really evaluate the way that I live and, definitely make some healthier choices for myself. Not that I haven't been. I have been working on my health. And then three, it really made me put into focus again, how I want to live my life moving forward. Because there were a lot of things that my stepfather didn't achieve in life that he felt bad about. Things that he thought he was entitled to that never really happened. And kind of this attitude up until the very end that there's always tomorrow. You have time to do things. And, time ran out. And so I've tried to make the decisions in my life, like, what do I want to do with the time I have remaining? What steps am I going to take to achieve the things I really, really want? And so being in Colorado has been good for me. I got a job where I make more money now than I've ever made at a job. And so because of that, I am going to be able to start making videos again. Probably the first video I'll make on my main channel for my comeback video will be the Secret Santa. That's going to be the first one I make. And so we'll have that video going probably around December, because I got to get with everybody that's in the Secret Santa group and then go from there to coordinate things. But that will be my return video, if you will. And then I'll be back to doing K-pop collection videos most likely. But also I'll still probably be doing it at a smaller scale, as much as I love K-pop, and I truly, truly do. Lately, I haven't felt as connected with K-pop. Part of it is for not having time to really follow a lot of things. Second, not really buying a lot of stuff. But third, I have to say, is the sound of K-pop has definitely been evolving in a way that kind of moves away from where I'm at right now. Like, I love tropical house, but I'm kind of sick of it. Because being in America, especially the last couple of years with Justin Bieber's Purpose album being on the radio all the time, I get a lot of tropical house. There's a lot of DJ Snake on the radio. There's a lot of Diplo. There's just a lot of people who are doing songs and sounds that have that tropical house feel. And now that K-pop has moved into it, I feel like it's a year too late. And I also feel like I'm kind of done with that. So it has been very difficult for me to keep going with K-pop, because it's been like K-pop has been two different creatures. It's either been the tropical house, EDM thing, or it's been the cute nonsense lyric, cute. And I really can't do either right now. So yeah, I want to get back into K-pop, but I definitely am going to have to take a different avenue to the way I approach K-pop. I think you'll probably see a lot more indie artists on my channel than mainstream. But I'm willing to take suggestions. I look forward to when Newest has a full comeback. Because, when you go back and listen to Love Paint and Overcome, there was a really great clear direction that New East was going. It just wasn't supported by the main public. I'm hoping that with the surge in popularity they got with Produce 101, that they can kind of keep moving in that vein, and maybe the public will go with them. But I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of music and artists and popularity, I could not publish this video if I didn't talk about Onew. So I'm not going to talk about facts, because honestly right now with the Korean media and everything that's coming out, there really doesn't seem to be any actual facts. The actual facts, if you want to boil them down to essentials, Onew touched a girl. She felt uncomfortable the way he touched her. And I'm saying touched, not like touched in a private place or any all K-pop type nonsense. I'm talking about just strictly skin on skin contact or skin on clothing contact. Onew touched a girl. She felt uncomfortable, called the police. The police showed up, and there was a case that was, I guess, written up. And that's really all the facts we have right now. There have been people saying that Onew wanted it to be more investigated, that Onew apologized to the girl, that he was too drunk to talk to anybody, so he couldn't have apologized to her. His friend apologized to her. He groped her. He thought she was a pole he needed to lean against. Like, there are no facts. But I'm going to state my opinion based on what little facts we have, and also the level at which I judge anybody in a situation like this, because it is tempting as a stan to say, well, not my bias, but Onew is a human being. I've always maintained all idols are human beings, so I'm going to judge him on the human being quotient of everything. And on the human being quotient of everything, I'm very disappointed in Onew. I'm very disappointed in him that he would allow himself to be put in a situation where he made somebody else uncomfortable, or that he found himself so out of control that he couldn't prevent himself from doing something that made someone uncomfortable. You know, when you go out to a club, if you've ever been to a club, some of you are too young to go clubbing. If you go out to a club and you're a woman and you've got on a cute outfit, maybe you've got a little legs showing, a little cleavage showing, there are times when you're out there dancing that men will approach you in a way that makes you feel bad. You'll be dancing and a man might rub his genitals against you in a way that you didn't invite, or he may try to grab you because he thinks that you're interested in him, or he might have a chance with you. And it's a situation that can feel very intimidating because you're in a dark, tightly confined space. You don't know this other person. They are a stranger to you. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know if this was an accidental grazing or if this was something more nefarious, somebody who wanted to take advantage of you because they felt they could get away with it in this very anonymous setting. And I'm disappointed in Onew for making somebody feel that way, because I know how that feels. But at the same time, I can't consider Onew to be a sexual predator. One, because as far as we know right now, this seems to be an isolated incident. And number two, there's still a little bit of ambiguity about what actually happened. So hopefully this is one of those incidents where either A, it was a misunderstanding, or B, it was an incident that maybe either got out of hand, or something that won't be repeated. That is my most sincere hope, is this is something that won't be repeated. But moving forward, I would really appreciate from Onew, if not necessarily that he'd make a statement about what happened in the club, but more a statement about what he's going to do to correct his actions moving forward. Like, you know, him saying, you know, I feel like maybe I'm not going to be drinking as much when I'm out in public. You know, if you're at home and you want to get blackout drunk, that's your business, you do you. But maybe to say, you know, I'll be more mindful of, you know, keeping my alcohol intake to where I'm still in control of my faculties when I'm out in public. I'll be more mindful of the way I impact the people around me. I'll be more mindful of, you know, making sure that the people around me don't feel uncomfortable in my presence by not doing anything that could be questioned as to whether or not it's a sexual nature or a non-sexual nature. And that's what I want to see moving forward from Onew. And I don't want to see it just for him, even though this needs to be something that comes from his heart. I don't want him saying empty platitudes just to please the masses. I want him to say that for him, but I also want him to say that for Shiny, because one of the worst things to come out of all this is the fact that his mess up as him being the leader of Shiny reflects on the entire group. And they've worked so hard for so long and built up such a legacy that I'd hate for it to be destroyed by an incident that really was just what I believe to be a one-off incident so far. Now, if it comes out that this is a pattern of behavior for Onew and that he's groped a lot of people and that, you know, SM has been settling things behind the scenes for a while, then, you know what, as much as it would pain my heart, I would have to write him off, because this has now become serial behavior. This is now his MO, and I can't support somebody who is a serial groper. But if this is a one-off, this is a learning incident for him. This is something where he could definitely change his behavior, he could do better, and he could be the leader that he's been for Shiny. He could be a leader when it comes to how to react as a man when you screw up. And I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult because people have expectations of you when you're an idol. But I think that he can do this because he's a strong person. And I know that he'll have a support group behind him because he has a lot of friends in his community that are willing to kind of go to bat for him, and hopefully they'll provide him the kind of push he needs to move forward and be better. But that's my opinion as both the Shawwal and just a fan and a woman in general. So now that I've talked about that, the only thing left to talk about is like what I've been doing with my free time when I'm not doing K-pop. I haven't really caught up on any dramas lately. Woolim was the last drama I watched, like big drama. I did watch a couple of like webtoony dramas on Netflix. One was called My Miracle, even though I think on Netflix when you look it up it's called My Secret Diary. That was okay. And then I watched this other one that I cannot remember the name of, but it was about this kid who could look at people's eyes to see whether or not they're going to be a victim or a serial killer. It was strange. Like, it's not anything I'd ever watch again, but it was interesting. Now, My Secret Diary, some of you might want to watch that though, because it's got members of Onew in the webtoon. It's also got a member of Boyfriend in it, the leader from Boyfriend. So it is worth watching for that because they're actually pretty decent actors. But I more watched it because there was a big girl in the advertisement, and I hardly ever see big Korean women as leads to K-dramas. So yeah, I was really excited about that. Also, I like the fact that at the end of the drama, the message wasn't that, oh, you need to lose weight. It was, you need to be more confident about yourself and your skills. That I really, really loved. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with my time. And if there's any other stuff that you guys want me to talk about that I haven't talked about here, I'm sure there's a ton of it. Let me know in the comment section down below. I haven't been responding to comments over the last few months because, like I said, no time. But I will be responding to all comments on this video because I haven't, and I've been neglectful, and I'm sorry. You know, I've been going through a lot. It's been a lot of introspection. It's been a lot of decision making. It's been a lot of, you know, self-evaluation. But at the end of the day, I hope that the changes I've made in myself will help me to be a better role model for some of you here, because whether I want to embrace it or not, the truth of the matter is a lot of you have come to see me as kind of a big sister. And because of that, I really want to be responsible in the way that I handle myself, so that if you're looking at me for guidance or advice, you'll get good information and you'll get somebody who kind of has their shit together as much as they can, you know, because life is a struggle. So we can't all just completely have our shit together 24/7. But if you see me on my path and it looks like I'm walking right, then hopefully it will help you guys to walk right. And that's my main goal. I just want the best for you all. You all have given me so much joy, so much happiness, so much positivity over the years that I've been on YouTube, that I just really don't want to let you down, and I don't want to let myself down. And if that means taking a break here and there, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm always going to come back to you guys. So, like I said, leave comments down below, especially if you have any suggestions for dramas that are maybe coming up towards December that we can all start watching together, because I want to get back on that for sure, because those are some of my funnest videos to make, is drama recaps. But yeah, please let me know. And again, thank you guys for sticking with me with my radio silence. I know on my main channel I've lost a lot of subscribers because I haven't been doing things, and I don't think I'm gonna get those people back because I'm not doing the latest Pristin release or the latest one-of-one release. I'm doing older groups and I'm talking about older things. But the people who've been with me for a long time, the people who are with me for reasons outside of the groups that I stan, that is the group that I feel loyalty to, and that's who I want to continue to reach out to, because we've come so far together and I want to continue on this journey. I want to continue to be a part of this community, and that's where my head is right now. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.